So how could you say it's an Igbo coup when it was Igbo people who caused the coup? Do you understand?
If it were an Igbo coup, what would have been different?
If it would have been a walkover.
How?
Because all the key officer positions in Lagos were under the command of Igbo people. There is no one the battalion command, the armorer, the person in charge, the quartermaster general, everybody, most of them were Igbo officers. So it isn't possible for you to organize that coup and fail, because there will be no opposition. What would have, if it was an Igbo coup, what the Nzeogwu on Ironsi's command would just seize the Ikeja area, just go quietly to all these politicians and seize them one by one. Nobody will oppose it. The people who will be seizing them will be northern troops, who are the recruits. Seize this man, yes sir, he will salute you and go and seize, because that's the way they were trained. You see what I mean? That's the way it happens.
What role did Ojukwu play?
Ojukwu's role was in Kano, where he didn't cooperate with those sent by Nzeogwu to seize that city, which had the 5th Battalion of Nigerian Army. That was it.
And Ojukwu was an Igbo man?
Ojukwu was an Igbo man, called Igbo man, yes.
Ojukwu knew that there was going to be a coup.
I don't know whether he knew or not. He didn't claim to have known. And I'm not sure I read anywhere where they said that he knew there was a coup coming.
Are you sure Nzeogwu did not tell Ojukwu that something was coming?
If Nzeogwu told Ojukwu that a coup was coming, he didn't take me into confidence. In any case, I never met him person to person. So I don't know what he told Ojukwu or what he didn't tell the man.
And Nzeogwu threatened to march on the south.
Yes, he did.
What was wrong with him?
Nothing was wrong with him. He was, when you have stirred the honest nest, it scatters in every direction, so you move with the wave. In that state in which he was, he could say he would march to the north, to the south. Probably he meant it. Probably it was a bluff to be obeyed. I don't know.
Why did they mess up with the Ironsi plot? Why didn't they get him in Lagos?
Okay, there's an explanation to that one. The wave, as I told you and as you know, I wasn't there. The guy who was sent to arrest him was a lieutenant. Lieutenant Obo Oji. The man, I think he died recently or still alive, I don't know. And then he met the man. He was going to the Ironsi's house, and Ironsi had heard about the coup and was driving to Lagos, and they met on the road. And he said, "What are you doing here?" The guy called. That's the story told. And then they said some people had gone to Ironsi at the party that Memelari organized. They couldn't find him there. They said there was a second party. They went there. He had also left the party and had heard about the school and was racing down to Ikeja, so they didn't get him at home. Those were the explanations, what I read,
Can you say the officer that went for Ironsi was a coward? Or it was the Igbo spirit that touched him? Because he had Ironsi on his palm.
Well, I would scarcely say that he was a coward, because they didn't have this history of coups. It's not as if every morning you go out and march on the parade ground. It's not the same thing. It was happening for the first time. Mm. And when you hear that Ironsi was traveling, did the general travel alone? He was in his Jaguar going to Ikeja, but he was there. He had troops behind him. He had mobile policemen in a jeep that accompanied him. He wasn't alone, and he had his revolver there with him. So it's not a man-on-man thing. And in those days, he was the only major general.
Yeah.
In those days, people respected authority. If in those days, if a captain entered here and there was a recruit, the recruit will leave the room immediately, whether asked to leave or not.
If it were Nzeogwu that met Ironsi on the way, what would have happened?
Well, it would have been different because at that time, Nzeogwu already attained his majority. Nzeogwu was trained at Sandhurst. Nzeogwu was the first Nigerian officer trained in intelligence. Nzeogwu was party to planning the coup. So he had more reasons to actualize what he planned than some lieutenant who was given an instruction to go and seize the head of state, to seize the army commander.
Ironsi became the main beneficiary of the January 15th coup. Can I call Ironsi your man?
Yes, in a certain sense, you could call him my man.
Because you wrote a book about him.
Yes.
Look at this book. This is the book we are talking about. Ironsi, written by Chuks Iloegbunam. So this interview is really about this book. Have you read this book? You should read this book by Chuks Iloegbunam. Ironsi benefited from the coup. He arrested the coup plotters and did not take actions. In this book, you brought in the interview that was granted by Theophilus Danjuma. And one of the anger of northern officers was that the coup plotters were treated like kings in detention. Why did Ironsi not act?
It also boils down to what I told you about propaganda. If you read Nzeogwu by General Olusegun Obasanjo, you will see letters written from Kirikiri prison by Nzeogwu to him, published in that same book, showing the way they were being maltreated. One of them even had bayonet wounds. So it's not true that they were being treated like kings in the detention. It's not
That was what Theophilus Danjuma said.
I don't have to believe him. I don't have to believe Theophilus Danjuma, who gave the orders for Ironsi to be killed and is denying it to this day. I do not have to believe him, not even for 1 millisecond.
You said he gave the order?
Yes, he did give the order.
He said he didn't.
That's what he told you.
That it was beyond him.
Is it not shameful? You were a major, you went to capture one man, and the situation got beyond you. And later he called Ironsi a desk general, when Ironsi got all his promotions under white colonial officers, and was able to arrest a whole coup, nationwide coup. He couldn't control attack on government house Ibadan. And you want me to believe him?